from John Dix.
This is for Councillor Cornelius. What guarantees are being provided by the two bidders for One Barnet that the savings will actually be delivered? And what specific contingency plans have been prepared if the outsourcing company fails to deliver these savings that are forecast?
The answer is that the savings will be contractually guaranteed in the main. Not all of the savings will be guaranteed. There are other additional savings, but the decision will only be based on those savings that are guaranteed. That's what we have. That's what we have in front of us. That's what we make that decision on. Now, as regards the fallback plan, should something disastrous happen, well, the answer is, of course, essentially the same people will be doing the work, and they will be tupied from Barnet or transferred from Barnet, and there is always the possibility they can
That's
come
another
back.
waste of money again.
That's not waste of money.
That's not true.
That's not true.
If it's the same people doing the job under another roof, that just seems pretty balmy to me.
Absolutely.
Frankly, why are we handing the benefits of those efficiencies to a private company to pay their shareholders rather than actually putting it back into the economy of Barnet?
Of course, the truth is, there can be no guarantees. There can be no guarantees because we're talking about 10-year contracts. And I tell you, the way the world moves so fast these days, and change is all about us, that in 10 years' time, we're going to have a completely different scenario. You know, I go back a long time, and I remember fighting with the Conservative administration when they were closing schools. And we were told, doing nothing is not an option. We have to close schools.
Oh.
Well, we ain't got enough schools now. And this is why it will go wrong. Because in the rush to privatise, nobody's prepared to stand back and analyse the situation. Look at the changing demography in Barnet. Look at the changing world and say, where will we be in 10 years' time? And in 10 years' time, will these contracts be fit for purpose? My concern is that they won't.
That's why
That's why you should
Okay, well,
be doing that.
I'll try and be brief, but this is really complex. This issue about whether you can guarantee savings, whether you can contractually guarantee savings. Yes, of course you can. You can contractually guarantee anything. You can put what you like into the contract. A number of points. Firstly, nobody in this room knows what's in those final bids. Nobody knows what's going to be in that contract as it happens. So it can only be supposition at this stage. And nobody will, and most of you will never know, of course, because it'll actually be commercially confidential. We see guaranteed savings all the time written into these contracts. Now, just go back to that one example, and that's the example of Somerset County Council and South West 1. The savings are guaranteed for them as well. But the problem is that they're also linked to the volume of work that goes into the transfers from the council to the contractor. And if something changes and the council can no longer transfer that amount of work into the contract, then there'll be penalties built into it so that the council ends up paying more. So as I say, what happened with Somerset County Council and South West 1 is £100 million of savings should have been made. They've made £13 million of savings, and the council has had to stuff up another £2.5 million because it's had to reduce the volume of work that goes into the contract. These are the kind of things that do happen in these contractual situations. The other one that happens, and I've personally experienced this, is where the contractor finds that they actually can't make any money out of it at the levels at which they've agreed it. And they don't necessarily say bye-bye. They might say bye-bye, but first of all, they'll come back to the council and say, if you don't increase the amount of work in here, or you don't increase the amount of money that we're getting, then we'll be saying bye-bye, we'll be walking away. And you imagine, if a contractor walked away that was delivering this level of services, the result would be catastrophic for Barnet, it would be catastrophic for the council. So the council is very vulnerable to that sort of blackmail from a contractor. So these guarantees on savings
are easily undermined, I would suggest. And we've seen it time and again. There are loads of examples of where guaranteed savings have actually turned out to be nothing at all. I just want to really quickly answer this point about tutoring. Well, I think, I don't know, Councillor Cornelius, maybe it's an opportunity for you to say this. I don't know how many jobs will actually be going out of the borough, even offshore, potentially, under the proposals that we've those jobs will not be coming back into the council because those people will not be following those jobs. Those people will actually be made redundant. I don't know whether you're in a position to make any assurances to the public department about this, but it would be useful.
Just wanted, because I responded in a rejoinder to Councillor Cornelius, but I think the point here is one of the reasons for outsourcing privatising services is transferring risk, but the reality is you can't really transfer the risk in public services. There are services for our borough. Ultimately, if things go wrong, we'll be left with the situation where we either pay more, pull out, recontract with somebody else, or set up again in-house, and that'll be an expensive operation. So in the meantime, residents will suffer, and they'll be probably paying more council tax to bail it out. So one way or another, you will lose financially, potentially financially, and in terms of your services.